If I had to start over with nothing, this video will show you exactly what I would do step by step in order to build this company from the ground up. So during this video, you're gonna find out what I would do, how we'll get the customers, how we'll build the team, how we'll equip ourselves so that we can go from 0 to $1 million in 6 weeks. Right now, we're currently running at 3.5 million or more per year. You can get that kind of demand in a short period of time if you apply yourself. I started the business when I was 27 years old, back in 2009. I didn't have investors, like I said. I didn't have any connections. I barely believed in myself. But for the first 10 years, I dug in and I ate glass. I did it the hard way, and I was the business. I was running the crews, I was selling the jobs, I was doing the installations, I was handling any callbacks. I was making sure that I built a brand that was built on the morals and the integrity that I saw to stand on. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know what I needed. I saw a $700 pickup truck on the side of the road, and I bought it. I bought 2 55-gallon drums for $25 each, and that was my capacity. I could take 100 gallons of materials to jobs, and I could do them. If I needed more, I'd have to drive back to the supplier and reload. By my second year, I had a 25-foot flatbed with a 1,500-gallon tank on the back of it. Now, just the sheer volume change can show you the growth, but think about that. Within a calendar year, I went from barely being an adequate business to reinvesting in myself so much. I had something that was vibrant and a real business at that point. I didn't know what I didn't know, but what I can see now is some trends in the business and in myself. I was broken, I was lost, and I needed direction. And if some of those things resonate with you, this is the kind of business that you'll do really well in. So who exactly am I talking to? You'll be a good fit for this course if you've built something with your hands before, but you know you could do a business yourself. If maybe you've worked at another asphalt company and you've thought, I'd really like to go into business for myself. Maybe you've already started seal coating and repairing parking lots and driveways, and you've only done it on the side. But now you want to go full tilt and build a real business that can supply you and your family with a livelihood and a well-being that'll take you into the future. And why would I be making this course for free? You might be thinking that yourself. In 2009, I wish somebody had invested in me the way that I'm willing to invest in you. So if that's you and you want something that's going to add real value to your life and maybe the business you've already started, this is for you. So let's dive into the roadmap and what the course is built on. First is the opportunity and how we're going to identify our market and know that. And while we go through this roadmap, if you've already built some of these things or they're familiar for your business, go ahead and skip to the section that applies to you the most or where you know your biggest roadblocks are so that you can start solving those problems. And if you're brand new and you found something that has struck you and is something that is of value, put a comment below so that we can engage with you directly. Opportunity, foundation, what this business is. How do you get something that's like Anthony's Asphalt in a short period of time? The offer is the section where we'll be able to define what the right services are so that you're prescribing the right thing for your client's problems. One of the biggest challenges for a business is getting leads. Section number 4 is just that. We're going to walk you through how to create a full pipeline in your business from the clients that you have and the clients that you are getting. The evolution of a money circle is listed in section number 5. You're going to see how to get a machine that's an engine of cash distribution that will keep jobs cultivating themselves. One of my favorite parts is part number 6, doing the jobs and getting paid, because that's where the value exchange happens. You're going to provide value for your client, and they're going to provide value by putting checks in your bank account. Section number 7 is the growth engine and the repeat system, how we're going to make sure that all these jobs that you're doing are creating more life for your business. Before I go into exactly how the money works in an asphalt maintenance business, let's talk about why most businesses and guys fail before they ever get started. And you might be surprised, it has nothing to do with asphalt. The real reason is not what most people think. People think that they can blame it on the economy, they can blame it on competition in their market, they can blame it on not having enough money to invest in themselves. All of those things are just a cover up for a lack of conviction. Because if you believe wholeheartedly that you can do the mission that's in front of you, you'll never fail, because you'll always be looking for a solution. So remember, in the back of your head, the only way that this won't work is if you stop believing that it can work. So let's start in the beginning. You want to blame the economy. It's because you're not creating an economy around yourself. That's what it takes. You've got to create a system around yourself that puts money exchanging between you and others. So you're providing value, not making excuses. If you lack consistency, nothing has a chance to grow. If you only plant seeds by putting quotes into your local community every once in a while, that's the kind of business return you're going to get. Every once in a while, someone's going to ask you if you can do a job for them. Consistency compounds. In the early stages of your business, it's one of the most important ingredients. Doing it alone is going to feel completely like that. You're going to feel isolated, like it's the hardest thing to do, and like you're climbing a mountain all by yourself. So tap into a local group of community members or business people that are networking together, or jump online in a group like we have. You may be sitting there thinking about starting, and that's all you're doing. You're just thinking about starting. You're waiting for the perfect moment to come in and grab you and move you forward. I'm here to tell you right now that that moment will never come. I've seen guys that are great at doing the work, but they're not building a business that repeats itself. That's exactly what this course will help you with. It will help you learn how to fulfill your pipeline and maintain it so that it's cultivating itself. This piece might not be for everybody. It's where I'm going to talk about what worked for me. Anthony, the broken guy that started a business, tried to do it all on his own, and could only get so far. So this is not a religious pitch. This is exactly what happened to me. I pushed the business so hard, I was the business in every element. My wife and I were doing the scheduling, the sales, the onboarding of team members. We were doing the marketing. We were spread so thin that we felt like we were on the verge of burnout. I came to it first. I was driving down the road. I still remember the day. I was driving down the road, going to load material at a seal coat supplier. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. And I realized that I was having thoughts about hurting myself just enough that I could stop running the business because I had inflicted so much pain on myself through being burned out and not building the real systems. That's where my business was stalled. We were doing about $600,000 a year. That's $100,000 a month. We have $100,000 days now. What changed was I surrendered. I let go and I let God. He ushered himself to be a partner in my life and my business and myself have never been the same since. So if you think that you can do it all alone, I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. You may not want to search and serve my God, but I know that he loves you and he's chasing after you this moment, right now. Before we dive further into this content in this video, I promise it's coming. I want to introduce you to someone. His name's Alex. Take a look at his story. He might be in a place like you are now, and you might be able to find some inspiration in his story.
Hey, it's been a great experience just learning from Anthony, seeing how he runs his team, everything that goes into a large-scale project like this, from the prep, to the filling of the cracks, to the seal coating. I really just saw everything that I plan on doing as well in my own business. So, I just really feel a lot more confident going into, my first job. Now that I've been able to see, a high-performing team in action.
One thing that makes Anthony's Asphalt different from all the other service providers in my market, and just like the competition in your market, you're going to want to convince yourself that there's no brotherhood in asphalt. But I'm here to tell you right now there is. I was convinced. I used to say that phrase all the time. There's no brotherhood in asphalt. Like, they want to cut my throat. They just want to step on me. They want to undercut my prices. None of that could be further from the truth. They want to provide a quality life for their families and for the people that are on their team. And you want to do the same thing. So the thing I wish that someone would have told me 20 years ago when I started this business is that utilizing other people that are quality contractors in your area becomes a godsend. It becomes the network that holds your business together. So what I encourage is you to be different. You may be on an estimate and see a competitor. Go up and shake their hand. They're going to have a measuring wheel in a parking lot just like you do. It's going to be easy to see them. And you're going to think, I'm going to put my guard up and I'm not going to talk to them. Or I'm going to give them an angry look. That's child's play. The way to get ahead in life is go up to them and ask them, what kind of jobs do you really enjoy? What kind of capacity does your team really do well at? Is it 100,000 square foot parking lots? Is it tiny little driveways? And then find ways to network with them and help them win. That's the way that you'll get ahead. Not by being bullies and pushing people away, but invite them in to your lead flow and find out if you can trust them. That's the number one key to getting ahead in business. All right, Let's get into the actual system. I'm gonna show you exactly how this business makes money from start to finish. First thing is, we wanna know our market. Who exactly do we identify as a good fit? Who's a bad fit? And how do we locate them? So first off, the easiest fish to catch on the barrel are homeowners. There's thousands of driveways in your local market that need your services. So go into a neighborhood, find a driveway that looks great, and you'll realize that those are the people that the neighbors are trying to keep up with. Then build your contracts so that the neighbors have a chance to let their homes look as nice as that premium driveway. But the bigger fish are the commercial properties. Everyone's gonna be chasing commercial and thinking that that's the best thing that they can do. While it's easy to identify where their liabilities are and what their cosmetic issues are, getting in touch with the actual decision makers is the hardest part to do in the beginning, because you think the manager in the store can make a decision on what goes on in the parking lot. It's often not the case. So just because you make a contact inside the store doesn't mean you made the right contact. I'll show you how to find them. Multi-site housing, like apartment complexes and group homes, are great places to penetrate because they often have a lot of parking. So it's ideal for your business. Retail centers are gonna be just like a commercial property. That's essentially what it is. But a retail center may have individual leaseholders inside of a string of businesses like a plaza. What you'll do is you'll identify not who owns the businesses inside those plazas, but who owns the plaza itself. That's the key to getting ahead there. Office buildings, you're gonna have multiple floors with multiple businesses. You need to find out who controls that building holistically. And once you find out who that person is, that key contact will be the decision maker. One thing that you'll hear on message boards across the internet is that people don't like dealing with homeowners. I've prided myself on being able to communicate well, efficiently, and effectively with homeowners associations because I knew that other contractors were turning their backs to them. And because of that, you can get ahead too. The biggest fish of them all is the property managers. They're managing those plazas and office buildings. So contacting the property management companies in your local market will be the first way to get ahead. Simply do this. Call them and say, I want to apply to be on your vendors list for X, Y, and Z services. It applies across the board. If you power wash, tell them that. If you do roofing and siding repair, tell them that. Whatever it is, if you're starting an asphalt maintenance company, tell them that. I want to be a vendor. When you need these services, call me and I'll be there. Essentially, what's happening in all these different types of businesses and real estate properties is the asphalt that was installed is wearing down and you can help revitalize it. You don't want to overpromise, but what you can do is you can help them fill the isolated cracks, take care of liabilities like potholes, and beautify the property by seal coating it and line striping it so that the first impression for the clients or the visitors is a wow factor, not a dud. All right, let's get into the foundation. What this business is, Anthony's Asphalt. Simply put, we're a local service business that help people maintain and replace their asphalt surface. What you'll do to compete as a service provider, just like Anthony's Asphalt, the foundation of your business, is that you'll make money by solving problems inside pavement. That's it. It's super simple. People get into this business and they think they've got to do everything and be all things and provide solutions for every problem. But I'll tell you, you want to find something that works for you and repeat it. I want you to learn how to go deep, not wide. So you're going to define what that simple service is. There may be one part of the business or asphalt maintenance that you like more than others. That's a clue to what you should dig deep on. You're going to do everything you can to have repeat customers because that's the lifeblood of your business. It's kind of like residual income. They're going to come back to you every time they have a need. And the awesome thing about asphalt maintenance is that they're going to need your services again. You get to control if they call you back or if they go online and look for another service provider. And lastly, referrals. They'll keep pumping life into your business because every successful client that you make and that you succeed for will go into the marketplace and be a spokesperson for your business. That's what you're aiming for. You're aiming to be so deliberately good and giving clients more value than they feel like they paid for, that they go on into the public square, wherever that is, their home, their office, their church, and they brag about what you just did for them. If you reach that level of customer service, the business will feed itself. Now, how do you provide solutions? It's by understanding the product first. So you need to know some of the basic chemistry and the usages. You need to understand what problems exist in your local market. If you're down south, you may have one type of crack problem compared to a different wearing problem or potholes in the Northeast. So know your market, know exactly what your clients are experiencing so that you can define the right solution for the cause or the problems that they have. You're gonna need to look at the local driveways, parking lots, and roadways to get some clues about what's needed the most. You can see in the diagram below, there's 3 phases of asphalt shown here. New asphalt, asphalt that's oxidized and ready to seal coat, and then something that needs more than just seal coating where it's gonna need repairs or crack sealing. Remember, your job is to find clients that are willing to pay before the problems become worse. That's the key. You wanna show them how you're holding off more money by providing a solution for a problem they have today. Property owners pay to protect their asphalt before the damage gets worse. Now that you know your market a little bit better, let's jump into the offer. The offer is simply this: to make money, you've got to offer the right services for your client's problems. So if that's going to be seal coating, crack filling, small asphalt repairs are simple money makers that you can find. Large scale patching, line striping, overall, to combine all those things together, and that's essentially asphalt maintenance. You're maintaining an in-place asphalt system, saving a client money before the problem gets worse. If you can do that, you'll get ahead in this business. To get clients to trust you, you've got to sell real solutions for their real problems. And by knowing what the real benefits are, that's how you'll get ahead. So what is the offer? Ultimately, you're selling safety. It sounds counterintuitive. How is asphalt safe? How do these things connect? There's liabilities just walking around on your public sidewalks, inside parking lots, entering into a building. So trip hazards, potholes, and damage to parking lots are a great clue to show you that a client needs your services. So you're selling seal coating, crack filling, asphalt repairs, line striping. All of those things are asphalt maintenance essentially. But what's a customer really buying? They're buying safety. They're buying protection. They're buying beauty. If you can clearly state those things to clients, you'll be able to show them exactly what they'll receive from the services you're providing. Clients are paying you so that they'll experience fewer problems in the future from someone that they can trust, someone that they know, and someone that they like. That's the secret to getting ahead. Making sure that you're reliable enough to keep people trusting you so that you can get all the way to the finish line, which is a paid invoice, and then them calling you back the next time. How customers are gonna find your business, it's gonna sound complicated because I'm gonna say big words like that sound expensive, like Google and search engine optimization and all these things that you feel are complex and you might not know very well. But guess what? There are very simple and rudimentary things that you can do to market your business, especially in the beginning. You're gonna put a yard sign out on every single job that you complete, your first customer to your last customer. Continue to put yard signs out so that people get a clear description of what the outcome is for them, the quality of the service that you're gonna provide, and the fact that they now know who to call to get the same thing for themselves. Because you just did such a good job for that client and you put your name on it by putting your job site sign out, that's gonna create word of mouth advertisement because those people are gonna tell more people that you did a great job for them. So continue to do everything you can to provide so much value for people that they speak about you to others in a positive way. So what's the customer journey look like in the beginning? A customer sees your business somehow. They either saw it because you got a magnet or a sticker on the side of your truck. They saw a job site sign that you had out on a job that you've already completed. Someone in the local community was talking about you in a positive way. They call you and they reach out to you as a business. You're gonna collect their information some way, either online or in person, and you're gonna find out exactly what property is that they are looking to maintain and what scope of work they believe they need. Those are the 2 things that you want: where to go and what they expect you to give them. Go and find solutions for problems that you see. So you're looking for cracking and raveling of the asphalt. You're looking for areas of deterioration. You're looking for big, wide cracks that you can fill. Find those things and then you're gonna prescribe the solution. You're gonna give them a contract that clearly states not one price for everything that you're doing. You're gonna break it out line item by line item. That's one way to get ahead. Show people exactly what the scope of work is for the things that you're offering to do. Give them clear and defined details and values, like this many square feet, this many feet of cracks, this many square feet of asphalt repair. That way, they know exactly what they're getting for the amount of money that you've determined, and if they ask for more later, you can show that you've satisfied your contract. That's contracting 101. Clearly define what you're going to give them and how much you're going to give them of it, and then obviously what the price is. That way, if there is any heartburn by the client afterwards, you've got something to stand on that was clearly described to them in the beginning. That's how you're gonna earn your value from the start. After you determine what the scope of work is and you provide them with a quote, they're gonna have a chance to review it, or maybe you present it in person, and then you're gonna ask them, are you ready? They're gonna get on your schedule, you're gonna come out, and you're gonna take care of the job and keep them satisfied. The money cycle starts with the core loop. Let's dive into this right now. You're gonna find people, you're gonna offer them a service, they're gonna book a job with you, you're gonna complete the work, you're gonna stick your hand out and get paid, and then you're gonna ask them for some added benefit for you. You're gonna ask them for a review, and you're gonna ask them for a referral every single time. Once you get a CRM, you'll be able to automate some of these steps, and it won't feel so heavy. But in the beginning, this is exactly how you turn one job into many jobs. All right, now let's look at how to run the full cycle. You get attention on your business. You need eyeballs. You get a lead. That lead calls you and reaches out somehow. They see you in the grocery store, whatever it is. You get to review the property. You recommend them a service. By giving them a quote, they know exactly what they can get and how much it's going to cost. They call you and they book the job. Once you complete the work and you ask for the referral and review, the money cycle starts over again because someone else sees your business. And you get to do that all over again.
I'm Dan Leotow. I've been doing a 3-day ride along with Anthony Bison here. Came into this program knowing literally nothing about asphalt maintenance or repair. After today, I've gotten some hands-on experience. Yesterday, I had plenty of administrative experience learning how to do proposals, learning how to do bidding. Spent some day in the office learning all the computer stuff. Having this hands-on experience has been extremely helpful and giving me the confidence I need to move forward in doing the crack filling, seal coating, cutting and patching, infrared heating. Today's been super instrumental in learning a bunch of stuff I don't know.
All right, let's talk about doing the job and getting paid. This is one of my favorite parts because it revolves around a central concept that's going to make you kick the butt of your competition. Reliability. You're going to show up doing exactly what you said you were going to be doing, when you said you were going to be doing it, exactly the way that you described you were going to do it. Don't cut corners. Don't sell someone the world and then come in and not give them it. You want to provide exactly what you said you were going to do. That's the reason why you need to be clear in your contracting, is so that you know exactly what target to hit to make it a home run for your client. So after you showed up on time, you're going to prepare the area and you're going to complete the service correctly. It sounds simple to say it in these terms, but that's literally what you have to do. If you've told them you're going to use one type of asphalt patching, use that. Don't use something that you have on hand if it's something different. Give them exactly what you promised you would do, and that's the way that your contract can be fulfilled and you know that you've done something satisfactory. It's kind of like camping in the woods. You want to leave the property that you're working on better than you found it. One thing that I've learned over time is that if I'm working in an area and there happens to be some just general trash, say that it's the corner of a parking lot and there's a stack of water bottles, guess what the client thinks after you seal the parking lot? They think that those were your water bottles. So you might as well pick them up now before you hear about it later when you're submitting an invoice. Go the extra mile. Just give them literally more than they paid for in some aspect. and your clients will start to notice. So if you do good work, people will notice and they will call you back. So after you've provided the solution and you've done exactly what you carved out in your contract and you left the job site looking professional, you're gonna leave the customer happy because you're gonna guarantee it by asking them. Do a job site review with them after you complete the job. The first 100 jobs, this is gonna provide so much data for you, because if you didn't hit the mark, you're gonna learn what the client was expecting and you'll be able to perfect your cycle. The money exchange will become easier because you'll know exactly what clients are expecting you to do. So this one thing that I prescribe into your business today: every time you complete a job, call the customer. Hey customer, I'm done. I'd like to walk the project with you to ensure that you're satisfied and I can grab a check from you then. That's one simple thing that you can do to make sure that your business is providing quality and valuable services in your market. You'll see in the framework how simple this process is. It's defined in very high-level words, but dive deep on each one of those sections, because that will help you get ahead by being able to sell the service well, complete the work really well. When you're doing the project review with the client, that's when you're asking for payment. You thank them for that, and in turn, this is a phrase that I use all the time: we've gone above and beyond for you. One way that you can do that for us and return the favor is by referring me to your friends, your neighbors, and the place you work. Because guess what? Everyone works at a place that has a parking lot. So make sure that they're dropping your name inside the office as well. And then asking for that referral or review online, that's how you're going to keep feeding the business engine that you're creating. So how do we rev up the growth engine that is your business? The first thing you have to do is start a system so that you don't get far in a project and realize you didn't capture some of the before photographs. So guess what? This is your content machine. You've got a camera that's a super high-end camera on your phone right now. You're gonna take this out. Every time you pull up to a job, start a sequence. Bloop, I'm taking pictures. I'm taking videos. I'm showing how dirty the edges are. I'm showing people where the issues are before I solve the problem. Because that's gonna turn that photograph into a showcase of the transformation. You can show people all you want the job that you've done when it's over, but they can't see the context. They don't have the background story unless you're really capturing the before images. When I first started, a problem that I would have is I would take like one simple photo, bloop, because I'd be so excited to get to work. And then my before photo was less descriptive and didn't show enough compared to what my after photos were, because then I was proud of the job. It was cleaned up, it was clean edges, it was vibrant, it was deep contrast between, you know, the surrounding pavement and the road or the other area and what I had just left there by seal coating the surface. So make sure you take this out and be just as detailed on the front end with the before photographs as you are on the back end with the after. You're gonna ask the client for a review. It's just like part of the system that we had before on the loop. You're gonna want that client to give you a review so that it builds your trust with the community and they get to know that you have credibility. Because the thing that you're saying that you did for them, the social proof is the review of somebody that you've already done that for. It's a simple system that you can place in your business to give people the conviction that they can trust you. So you're gonna know what to talk about, you're gonna know what the client needs, and then you're gonna show how you delivered for other clients just like them. And they can say, well, if he did it for them, he can do it for me. So kind of like the loop, you're gonna be asking for referrals. And like I said, people live around other people that have asphalt. They work at a place that probably has an asphalt parking lot. They go to church. They are members of a sports club. Maybe they go to Boy Scouts at a different building. Ask people where they're going throughout the week and how you can access the property management company that's in charge of that, or the facility company that is, or the facility manager that's actually working on site. And those after photographs that you have become your proof that you can do the things that you said you're going to do. So as you're building your business, you're collecting proof of all the times that you've provided wins and value for clients in your market. Number 5 on the business growth engine system is going to be marketing itself. Now what I want you to do is I want you to think about this as creating competition. If you've done one dentist office in your town, go and drop a flyer off on the other one that shows a picture of their dentist office and say, hey, look what I did across the street for a dentist office like yours. look at how nice their first impression is for their clients and their patients. And they're gonna say, well, if they did it, we need to do it. Let's keep up with that other business that's already competing with us. This is just showing them another way that they're actually in competition with one of your past clients. Another way to market your services to people who need it is to go around the neighborhood. So if you get hired for one job, you're gonna go and just knock on the door at the neighbors. You can turn one job into many jobs. You should do the rule of 3 or 5 and just commit to it. When you get one job, you're gonna knock on the door, 3 houses to the right, 3 houses to the left, 5 houses to the right, 5 houses to the left. Whatever it is, make sure that you commit yourself to actually doing some door-to-door knocking when you're in the area so that people have a perceived value that they're getting at that time. They're like, well, he's gonna give me a good price because he's already here. He's doing the thing that he wants to do for me now, next door, so now I feel like I've got some leverage. Let them feel like they got to win. Give them a little discount of what your service rate is, because it is truly cheaper to do the job when you're on site. As long as you're prepared and you have the right materials, you'll be able to provide them a successful outcome too. Reconnect, step number 6 in the growth engine, is simple outreach. You're gonna wanna have some sort of a cadence where you're reaching out to your clients. In the beginning, I didn't do it nearly enough. I would contact them again when I thought that their services were due. If I did a job in 2020, I would want to do that job again in 2022. So I would contact that client again. And the way I would do it is I would send them a letter telling them what I've been doing for the last 2 years, and I would provide them with a quote for exactly what it's going to cost for them to re-engage and rehire us this year. And guess what? I would get checks back in the mailbox all spring long when there was still snow on the ground in Michigan, because I was reaching out to people in March. So we used to call it the sluice box because I was really into gold mining shows at the time. And I would say, like, I wonder what's in the sluice box today, because I was throwing letters out to engage with my past clients, and they would be sending in contracts. So before the season even started, before I'd even stocked materials, I would have hundreds of jobs waiting for me to put on the calendar. And it was a way that I could really jump on the work rather than figuring out where I was going. Number 7 is multiply. You're gonna turn one true satisfied client into many possible jobs because you're gonna offer them like a discount. Figure out what some sort of multiplication tactic you can give them and say, every time you give me a lead and it turns into a job, I'm gonna put a $10, $15, $20, $50 credit on your account so that the next time I do your job, you get a kickback. That's a simple way to get people to speak about your business to other clients that need your services. If you do the things that have been outlined in this video, at one point, you're gonna sit back and you're gonna watch your business grow because you're putting intentional effort into making that happen. If you sit back and you don't do these things, you're gonna struggle more than you would if you had engaged and been consistent in these marketing and outreach tactics. So get your business rolling by following these 7 steps. So let's talk about why these fundamentals matter. It's very simple. You're gonna deliver a quality service, and you're not gonna skip any steps, you're not gonna cut any corners, you're gonna follow through on exactly what you said you were gonna do for clients. The communication your clients receive are gonna be clear. You're gonna tell them when to expect you, what to expect, and what to expect afterwards. Those 3 pillars of communication will set you ahead of someone who just knocks on the door and says they're here to do some work. You're going to be super transparent. You're going to be clear by providing clear scopes of work that are honest with no surprises. And as you learn through your client walkthroughs after you've completed a project to make sure that they're satisfied, you're going to apply the things that you're learning to your next customer's experience and keep building on that until you've perfected it so that clients' expectations and what you're delivering in the outcome match really well. And that way you don't have people with any heartburn about the money that you charge them for the services you've completed. Consistency is the thing that's going to keep you ahead. It's a simple part of this program. You're going to repeat high standards so that your business grows, because as soon as you fall back on your standards, you'll see the areas of your business that are vulnerable to critique, and maybe it's unneeded. Maybe it is something that needs to be corrected in your business. But as soon as your clients can see that you're not providing the value that you stated you would, it's gonna lead to poor reviews, poor word of mouth, and less business coming back to you that you would have gained otherwise. Being reliable is a core concept that you have to harness your business to. You're gonna ingrain it into yourself. You're never gonna overpromise, and you're never gonna fall back on something that you've said to a client or an employee. It matters internally and externally in your business. Make sure that you're following through on the things that you said you were going to do so that people know that you're trustworthy and reliable. Because the first thing that will cut the momentum in your business is not being reliable. If you keep changing the dates that you're doing a project, or you keep over-promising and under-delivering, clients will learn that they can't trust you and they won't call you back. Professionalism. It's something that you feel you can't afford in the beginning. You can't afford a brand new vehicle with a vehicle wrap on it. You can't afford new crew t-shirts for the guys every day or for yourself. You're gonna show up looking less professional than some of your competition that's been at it for years. And the first thing you need to do is make sure that those professional elements of your appearance, your vehicles, your equipment, all of those things are on a constant evolution until you kind of reach what's normal in your marketplace. If you have sealer around all of your tools and your work trucks, and your stuff looks like you're messy, that's the way clients are gonna interpret you to be. If you show up in a polo and you're crisp and you're courteous and you're showing that professionalism, people will have no choice but to believe that that's what you're gonna give them the whole process through. Reputation. You've gotta fight hard in order to maintain it. If somebody is not happy, don't just take the bait and take the easy way out and say, oh, they got high expectations, oh, I can't please them. One thing that in the beginning of the business I realized was that the more picky and detail-oriented a client was, the better training it was for me. It was like going to the gym as a contractor. If I could please the engineers and the people that wanted to know every detail and every product description and product data sheet that they were receiving on their project, if I could please them, the guy that didn't care and that was just going to sign the contract and hoped I did a good job, that guy was super easy because I got trained on these difficult clients. So remember, just because you're getting criticism or reviews and people are critiquing what you've done for them or what you're about to do, that doesn't mean that they're a bad client. It means that you need to up your game to be able to satisfy them. And if you can master that, you'll get ahead. Protecting your reputation means sometimes you're going to have to give people more than you expected in the beginning so that you can satisfy them. If you've done everything right on a job and someone calls you back about something that they felt wasn't right, even though that you know you've delivered an adequate service, you've got to take yourself out of it. You can't take it personal. It's super hard because it's your business, it's your baby, it's your sweat equity that's there, and they're questioning that. So you're going to internalize it. You're going to say, they must have something wrong with them. Again, they have too high of expectations. But go back and fix what they said, make it right for them. Some clients are going to want a little extra, so be prepared for that. If they want a little bit of extra service, give it to them, and then show them how you've earned the review from them. Show them how you've earned the referral into their place or their place of work or their church or the school that their kids go to. Keep asking for more when people are asking for more. You want to match that energy so that you can actually draw something out of them and provide a value. Because you're probably not going to be able to charge them more money, but you will be able to get a referral or a customer review. So we went over the fundamentals of this program. I'm going to remind you, you've got to start with the basics. You got to determine what the service is that you want to provide, or if it's multiple services, how those things work in conjunction with each other. The second basic thing that you have to keep in mind is who needs that service. Who are the people that I can clearly see that I can sell to so that I can provide a solution to them. By finding out who needs the services you have, you'll know what problem it is and how to solve it, no matter what service you're providing. If it's seal coating, crack filling, asphalt repair, line striping, you're going to come in and you're going to give them line item by line item in a contract so that they know exactly what they're going to receive. So you know exactly how to provide the solution for the problem that they have. Step number 4 of the basics is finding your customers. If that's through Meta, through Google, through local things like newspaper ads or billboards, whatever you choose as the medium that's effective in your market that you can afford, those are the ways that you're gonna find your customers. Number 5 is how jobs are sold. You're gonna know your client cycle. You're gonna know how to attract them, how to connect with them, how to inspect the jobs, how to prescribe exactly what they need by diagnosing it, and give them the recommendation that's gonna bring them to a happy outcome. Once they have that recommendation in the quote, you're gonna close them, you're gonna get them on the schedule, and you're gonna execute the work. It's a simple process, start to finish. Once you can perfect those layers, you'll start to see your closing rate go up. That's the full system. Everything that I learned over the last 20 years. Everything that made me who I am as a man and as a business. All right, let's take a look at what you just received in this free course that I gave you right here. You learned how to find the right clients in your market so you know who will pay you. We went over how to build an offer that people want, how to get leads, but more importantly, how to turn those leads into booked jobs. I taught you the exact money cycle that I use in my business today to stay successful. I taught you how to do the job right and how to get paid. And most importantly, I taught you how to take one job and turn it into many jobs. So you watched the free video, you're probably thinking, how far is this really gonna get me? Let me be honest with you. You'll be able to get jobs, you'll be able to do jobs, you'll be able to get more jobs from it. You won't have a ton of confidence in what you're doing is the best thing, the next best thing, or maybe there's something else that could have been better. You need somebody in your corner for that. So that's what working with me directly as your coach to mentor you through your business growth, that's what it's gonna get you. It's gonna get you more reflex and response in time to the issues that pop up that might derail someone if they were alone. But if you had somebody like me in your corner, you'd be able to handle those things with more grace and more experience because you're coming at it with more than one mind. That's the biggest difference that I can provide for you as a coach. You're gonna come up with solutions on your own. You're gonna face problems on your own. The outcome of those problems are gonna be different if you have a coach in your corner. It's the simple truth. That's why professional athletes have coaches. That's why 7-time Super Bowl champions have coaches. They have individual coaches for individual parts of their performance. You can have one coach for your skills and for your business training. You can have one coach for your mindset. There's a lot of different ways that you can approach a coaching relationship. But I'll tell you that holistically, I'll offer you a part of all of that so that you know that you have the conviction, the trust in yourself, the belief, and the skills and knowledge and wording that you can go out and really wow a customer rather than stumble your way through a sale. There's a real difference between thinking you know what to do next and walking with someone who's already done it. You need someone to be your guide on this business journey ahead, and I'm willing to step up and help you. That's exactly what my coaching and mentorship does. That's exactly what I'm offering to you here. You can shadow me. You can come and learn with me in person. You can learn the full system live, on the fly, as we're using it. Shadowing me and having direct access to me has a ton of inherent value. It will make you step leaps ahead of where you would go and struggle on your own. Sometimes you're gonna have a day where you need somebody in the trenches with you that's helping you fight the fire that's in front of you in that moment. Things are gonna happen. It's business, it's life. Things are gonna feel hard. You get to choose if you do it alone or not. This isn't me giving you a pitch and saying, buy my program. I don't want to deliver you something stale in your email. I want to give you live, me, one-on-one coaching, because that's exactly what I needed 20 years ago when I started. So if you're ready, the decision is yours. I'm signing off, but if you are interested, there's a link below that you can click for more information.